This is Bangkok. Got a big dead fish there. Just over my shoulder, someone asked if I wanted a massage. Again, we've got this beautiful river, got a beautiful bridge. Look at that amazing gold barge. Now we've got some dude swimming. And then we've got another amazing bridge up here. So much to see, so much to explore here in Bangkok, the capital of Thailand. Because of my proximity to Khaosan Road, I'm going to explore Khaosan Road. I want to, the BMA, the Bangkok Metropolitan Authority, has just poured in 50 million bahts worth of renovation into Khaosan Road. So I want to go and have a look and see what the renovations are like, what they've done. It's the first time they've renovated and upgraded Khaosan Road since 1982. So I guess it was long overdue, and it was all the renovations occurred during the pandemic. I've also been a frequent visitor to Khaosan Road, whether it be at the start of a trip or visiting, or I've been transiting here while I'm on my way to another neighbouring Asian country. Or I remember one backpacking trip, I was returned from Europe and I stopped off in Bangkok and I spent a few nights in Khao Sahn Road. So I've been here many a time, so I'd like to go down and do a bit of reminiscing and remember the times that I've been there in the past. But I'd also like to learn a little bit about the history. So Khao Sahn Road, where did it come from? And also, how did it emerge? What's it look like in 2022? And also, what's the future of it? So Khao Sahn Road is my focus today. Now, also, while I'm in the area, there was democracy monuments nearby, and I got no idea what democracy monument's all about. So I'm going to go and have a look at that monument and read a little bit about that as well, and then learn about that. So that's my mission today. Let's go and visit Khao Sahn Road. Road. This is the end where the Chaophraya River is, and the temple is just over there. Now this block here that is the building's been demolished used to be a police station, and I remember the 2004 tsunami coming here. It was just after the tsunami struck, about a week after, and the area outside the police station there was just full of boards with pictures of missing people. Very tragic sight to just see so many missing people and family members caring for these people and just couldn't locate these people. So this area was within close proximity to the Chaophraya River. This was one of the key areas for the trading of rice. So this area became quite busy and popular, and it used to just be a dirt road along here. And as you can imagine, with the traders coming in, the boats coming in, and the smaller boats that would come up the klongs and delivering the rice, it got pretty crazy and messy here. And it was during the reign of King Rama V, Chulalongkorn, that Thailand underwent a lot of modernization. And it was around this time that he commissioned a road to be put in down here instead of the dirt track. So it was a paved road. Now it went for about 500 meters, and back at the time, major roads would be named after somebody important, someone significant. But just because this was a short road, it didn't warrant such a worthy title. So it was actually called Khao Sahn Road. Now Khao Sahn Road literally means rice, milled rice road. So that's how this street started. Surprise, surprise, I just got offered a massage. Who would have thought? some old Western guy walking down the street would be offered a massage. Anyway, I know it usually follows people like me. When I'm walking down the street, they say that one loudly, hello, massage, massage, and then whisper, you want drugs? You want boom boom? So in the 70s, there was a slow trickle of hippies and tourists. Maybe later. So, looks like a party place. I'll bookmark that one for later. Yeah, so in the 70s, this become a slow trickle of hippies coming in because Bangkok is actually a really good hub for traveling all around Southeast Asia. So some guest houses just started to emerge back then with locals just opening up their spare rooms in their houses. But it was in 1982 that a significant change occurred because it was then that Bangkok was celebrating their 200th anniversary celebrations of Bangkok. Yeah, walking around the middle of the day at Khaosan Road, you're going to hear a lot of construction going on in 2022. So it was in 1982 when accommodation was filling up. Hotels in the busier places around like Lumpini Park at the time, but also the Patpong area, were all quite full. So people were scrambling for accommodation. So tourists started coming to this area because it's in close proximity to the Royal Palace and the Chaophraya River, and there was a lot of other events happening around here. So this became, in 82, a place where travellers could actually find a place to stay. And since 82, guest houses, backpacker places, hostels, hotels have just grown exponentially every year since then. So now there's loads and loads of places. If you were a backpacker in the 90s or 2000s, you would be very, very familiar with the Lonely Planet. The Lonely Planet was the Bible. You needed that to be able to get around. We didn't have the internet, we didn't have Google Maps like we do that nowadays. So it was around this time as well which really helped boost the popularity of Khaosan Road because it would print the cost of accommodation. So I remember travelling to a place like Khaosan Road and highlighting all the different budget hostels and just turning up on the door with my backpack and seeing if I could get a dorm bed, or if I was feeling, in a place like Thailand, I felt pretty rich, so I could actually afford perhaps a private room with an air conditioner, or a fan if I was trying to save my baht so I could buy more beers. But it was really handy. So that helped boost the popularity of this area with the publication of the Lonely Planet publication. Then backpacker and Khaosan Road and the rite of passage of being a backpacker and taking a gap year took off with the release of Leonardo DiCaprio's The Beach. So when The Beach came out, Thailand's popularity massively grew, and in particular this area, because there were some scenes that were actually set. They weren't exactly filmed here, but they were set in this area. So anyone who fell in love with that film and wanted to relive and experience that kind of a experience would come here and spend a few nights before they'd go to the southern parts and explore the beaches, or go to the northern areas, or visit some of the neighbouring countries. So the beach really boosted the popularity of this place a lot. A lot of good memories walking around here. I've had some good times here, made a lot of good purchases. I remember spending so much money and time flipping through all the CD catalogues, just painstakingly going through every single CD catalogue that they had, writing down the code, and then going back in a couple of hours and I'd have all my discs ready. I remember doing that a lot. Did that similar thing with DVDs as well. Back in the good old days, you could get yourself a fake press badge or a fake university degree or certificate. I never actually got one of those, I believed in earning those kind of things the right way, but I did like the idea of it. If you've ever been to Khaosan Road, then you've probably visited soy around Buttri, because it's the second most famous soy on this street, on this area, full of tuk-tuk drivers.
Yes. Hello, Thailand. Where you come from?
Australia.
Sydney.
2022, the tactics of the tuk-tuk drivers.
Where you go?
To the river.
Where you go?
Have a walking. Just walking. I'll come back.
Wait.
See you when I come back.
Now I think you take the river. Boat.
Take the boat. No, not now, another day.
Just a moment. Take you station boat. And come back.
Not today. Thank you very much. Good luck to you.
Hello. I look from Australia.
That's
From
you.
Australia.
อันนี้ไว้ซื้อ
From Brisbane.
No,
Now you call in
Australia.
Australia.
No, yes, I will show. Yeah, I will show. Thank you. Goodbye.
You say hotel.
Your friend?
Yes, with my friend. Bye.
You come back.
Yeah, I'm walking and come back.
Now not go to the temple.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, thank you.
Me from Thailand.
So, as I was saying, some things haven't changed in Khaosan Road. Expect to get hassled. Expect people to sell you things. Now, it was around here. I remember coming to this particular soy. It used to be a favourite of mine to come and get some books. You could get a lot of Lonely Planets. So before, I remember coming here on one particular trip before I was going to travel around Europe. I came here to buy all the Lonely Planets I could, and you could get second-hand versions, or you could get photocopied versions. Hello. How are you?
Yeah, good man. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Thailand, guys.
Thailand's very friendly. This is one of the actual real main appeals of this area. When you come to Khaosan Road and Buttri Road, surely you're going to make a friend. And I've done a lot of solo traveling, so that particularly appeals to me. A place where you could go and you don't feel lonely. You can chat to people, and in particular exchange travel advice. So you're always going to bump into somebody who's going to the country, or sorry, who's been to the country that you're going to go to. So it was really valuable before the internet, that you could when you had to rely on guidebooks, so you'd use your guidebook and then word of mouth from all the friends. But also when you didn't have maps as well, you'd come to a place like this and get maps, ask friends where to stay, ask your new friends where you'd stay, where you'd go, where to go, places to avoid, and that kind of thing. So this is a really wonderful place to come to for travellers, solo travellers, and looks like it's still a place in 2022. There's still plenty of travellers here, so that hasn't changed. I remember one night here in particular, I was sitting just by the fence having a beer, and a car came screaming down, a four-wheel drive, slammed on the brakes, and the driver got out. He was a Western guy. The driver got out and was followed by about 5 Thai guys on motorcycles, and they were all carrying sticks, and they chased the guy down. I shat myself. So I jumped back. I remember jumping back, getting off the path to get out of the way, and they were chasing the guy, and they ran into one of the restaurants, knocked over the chairs. They were swinging these bars trying to get this guy, and the guy came back out to his car, went into the glove box and got a gun and shot it in the air about 4 times. That was a pretty scary moment for me. So I was with my then girlfriend, who is now my wife. So I remember being brave and trying to shield her and hide her. The guy got back into his car after he shot the gun a couple of times, and then reversed over their motorcycles and back out the street. I was in shell shock. I was in shell shock for quite some time after that. I had quite a few singers that night and counted my lucky stars, and it was soon after that I proposed to my girlfriend, because I realise that life is very, very short. There's a lot of really cool alleyways here around the Khaosan Road area. Got to be a bit brave. I think you just have a little bit of bravery and go down, and you never know what you're going to find. Sometimes there's some late night venue. Sometimes it's urine soaked. Sometimes there's rats running around. Sometimes there's a deluxe boutique coffee shop. You just never know your luck. Google Maps helps a little bit. It helps me be a bit braver when if I know something's down the alley, then I've on Google Maps and it's got a good review, I'm a bit more inclined to go down there. But yeah, if you're adventurous, Khaosan Road is definitely the area for you. So as the area started to become more prosperous because of the rice and the travellers coming to town and the traders for the rice industry, other businesses expanded here. One in particular was the textiles and the manufacturing of uniforms, also some costumes for stage productions. There was also gold leaf that was sold in the area, and also because the prosperity of the area was growing, this was this area here, it had the first silent cinema, but also 2 stages, 2 musical theatre areas, and it was also the place where they started the first record company in all of Thailand. And if you look over here, this is where it used to be. Kratai Records is what it's called, what it was called. And if you look closely, you could see their emblem, which is the rabbit. So this was the place of Thailand's first record company. So behind me here is the New World Shopping Mall, which was abandoned back in the heyday before the financial economic crash in Asia. Building sites and construction was just going up everywhere, and this was one of those buildings that was built in a hurry, and it broke a lot of building codes. Things were swept under the carpet until it all caught up on them, and then they had to shut down when the building started to collapse. As a result, this is now closed, been closed for a long time, and it has not been demolished. And as a result, it's kind of like a bit of an adventure to see if you can get inside there. So this is a possible future video for me. In fact, I heard that it's now flooded. The basement, the ground floor area is now flooded, and there's actually exotic fish in here. So I think I might come back here in a future video and see if I can get inside and look for these exotic fish. Khao San Road is notorious for its nightlife and party scene. There's also some excellent live music. This one here in particular, Adhere 13th Blue Bar, it's been around for a long time, the blues bar, and it's got fantastic live music. And just opposite, there's a craft beer and cider place, and it's got a big long list of craft beer on the wall. So this is where I want to come back to tonight. So I'm at the top end of Khaosan Road, and just if you get to the end and turn right, heading towards the Democracy Monument. But I've spotted another monument that looks quite interesting. I need to go and check it out. So it says it's the 14th, that monument there, that pointy one. It says it's the 14th of October 1973. 14th of October 1973 monument. I've got no idea what that is, so I'm going to go and have a look and see what that's all about. And then I'll go to the Democracy Monument first, and then I'll come back and check out what that one is. So there's 4 impressive wing-like structures that are guarding the centerpiece here, and the 4 wing-like structures are surrounding represent the 4 branches of the armed forces. So we have the police, we have the military, we have the Air Force, and we have the Navy. Now coincidentally, well actually not coincidentally, this is by clever design, that each structure is 24 meters high. Now the reason that they are 24 meters high is because the coup actually happened on the 24th of June. Now also by design, this is a circular structure and the radius is 24 meters across as well. So very clever design, very thoughtful. This is the student leader Samsek, and this is him making a speech about trying to get the release of 13 pro-democracy prisoners who were being held. So this picture here is of the 13 pro-democracy protesters that were arrested and their houses searched, and the protest was demanding that they be released. This is the 14th of October 1973 memorial, which is very close to Democracy Monument, and it's a very solemn place, and I've just been looking at all the photographs and learning a lot about it. There's a very good timeline which goes hour by hour of all the events that happen on the day. There's also a lot of newspaper articles in English, as well as majority of the exhibits are in Thai, but it's well worth reading, well worth coming and visiting, and I've actually learned a lot. Before I walked in here, I didn't know about this event. I didn't even know this place existed, but now I've learned a lot about what happened on the 14th of October 1973. So on the side of this monument are the names of the students, and it's basically a lament of the parents who are waiting for their children, their missing children, to return home. And these are the people who lost their lives during the protests, the 76 who lost their lives. Big day out and I've learned a lot. I've returned back to the Chaophraya River at the fort, and I'm here to watch the sun go down. And then I'm going to hit the Khaosan streets to experience the nightlife, see what it's like nowadays. Unfortunately, my battery's about to die, so I'm going to be doing it on my own without video evidence. So perhaps I'll have to come back and do a Khaosan Road nighttime expedition. But rest assured, I will not be going home just yet. So I'm here to watch the sun go down and reflect on what I've seen and what I've learnt today. Now, after learning about what the students went through in the 70s, the protests and the deaths and even the lynchings, I thought about the Democracy Monument and what it was like in Thailand during that time, and think, boy, oh boy, I'm lucky to be living in a different era. So as well as thinking about some tragic historic events, I've also had the opportunity to remember and relive some of my traveling experiences and remember what it was like to be a backpacker at Khao Sahn Road. And no doubt I'll relive a few more memories tonight and even create some memories tonight. But needless to say, I feel like I am lucky Luke. Also can't help to think about the students back in the 70s in Thailand and comparing them to the students in the year 2020, in the 2020s. Because recent protests, again, the students are heavily involved. Not only that, but interestingly, high school students are now getting involved in protests in Thailand as well. I'm very curious to see what unfolds in the next year or so with the Prime Minister here in Thailand and the student protests. And I'm also curious to see what Khao San Road's going to develop into in the next few years as well. As we emerge from the COVID pandemic and travel restrictions are eased again, who's going to be coming to Khao San Road? I understand that a place like Bali, they're trying to shift away from attracting the backpacker, and I think Thailand also is trying to shift away from attracting the backpacker and trying to attract more the wealthy tourists. So that could really change the shape of things here, not only in Khao San Road, but Bangkok and Thailand in general. So, interesting times ahead. Anyway, I'm going to watch this sunset. I've packed a cheeky singer in my backpack, so I'm going to have a cheeky singer, watch the sun go down, and then go hit the glitter strip that is known as Khao San Road. I actually wonder if you're a student in the 2020s in Thailand, if those monuments about past students would act as warning or actually act as inspiration. Things have definitely been far more complicated in the 2020s in Thailand with regard to protesting because of the pandemic as well. So as we emerge out of the pandemic and people can get out of lockdown and gather, I'm really curious what's going to unfold. It's a good spot here. Fantastic. This is a fantastic spot here. If you're in the Khao San Road area, find the fort, and just behind the fort there's a park. Set yourself up a little camp here and watch the sun go down. It's fantastic. Actually quite a little romantic spot. Might have to bring my wife here on the next date night. Had a few shandies at Khao San Road. Catching a local bus home, bus number 15. Coincidentally, it only cost me 15 baht. Paid me back to some backpacker experiences actually. Caught a lot of buses in my day. Good times. good times in Bangkok. This trip to Khaosan Road has definitely brought a lot of memories back. I used to be a bus driver for a little while, so I'm remembering my days as a bus driver, but I'm also remembering my days as a bus passenger. I got some crazy bus trips in, where are the craziest? Nepal. Nepal was the craziest bus trip, without question. Nice, I like it. I'm enjoying the experience. This is fun actually. Bus 15. Bus 15 runs quite regularly. Jump aboard and have the time of your life.